I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host, Shalom Klein, has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we're all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. And remember, you can always download the podcast from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you're there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right in. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a while. I'm thrilled to be joined by Paul Barron, the CEO of the Wall Printer. I know Paul started the company back in late 2019, and we're going to learn all about what the Wall Printer does. But Paul, I know you have a very interesting background serving as a mentor at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Very involved in innovation, entrepreneurship, and lots of advisory boards. Paul Barron, welcome to the program.
Nice to be here, Shalom. Nice to be with your audience.
Absolutely. So I always love to start with the person behind the microphone. I could already tell from learning a little bit about your background that you are an energetic entrepreneur. And I know you've done a lot of different things with a lot of different firms over the years. Tell us a little bit about how you caught the entrepreneurial bug and what you want our audience to know about you.
Well, I'm 70 years old, so I won't bother your audience and bore them with the fact that Paul was born at a very young age and start from there. But suffice to say that over the past 4 decades, I leveraged prior to that, a series of entrepreneurial experiences that spanned everything from restaurants to retail to consumer packaged goods to software development. Anything that kind of struck my interest. I always found that I liked growing things, the hats I wear the best. I think it's important that people kind of develop their own passion and focus and learn what they like to do, what they're good at. For me, it was the sales and marketing aspects. I didn't really like the management so much. So over the years, I kind of gravitated toward those roles that leveraged my ability to interact with people and companies and identify high-value target customers, vendors, strategic relationships. And I developed quite a niche, and particularly in terms of representing foreign companies who wanted to identify their audiences here in the United States. In the past 4 decades, I've launched a software products for a Russian technology company, a media board for an Israeli company, a self-service dog wash for an Australian company, a baby bottle for an Austrian company, headband headphone from a Chinese company, and my most recent venture, which I am now CEO of the Wall Printer, as you mentioned. We're 3 years into it. We create business opportunities for people who want to deliver high-quality artwork from digital art onto any wall, indoors or outdoors, and also floors, because we have floor printers as well as wall printers. We're very blessed that we put about 91 people as of today into business with our machines in their local communities. We're not a franchise, but we just service and support the machinery and the equipment to deliver very innovative art onto walls. So that's what I'm doing now. As I said, I'm about 70 years old, so this might very well be my last hurrah. But I also do a lot of give back at the local university, helping students, faculty, and local community people who have some growing pains in their business. I mentor with about 30 other people in town here in Wilmington and at the university, doing just that, helping people find their pain points and hopefully drive the solutions that they're trying to offer in their business and adventures.
Wow. Well, again, if you missed that, I'm chatting with Paul Barron, the CEO of the Wall Printer. Quite a success story over there after so many businesses across so many different countries. But now I know the Wall Printer is an amazing way to print vertically. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of it for sure. And thank you for all the give back that you do, as you mentioned. Paul, a little birdie told me that you started your career as a high school math teacher. And I understand you were the most popular teacher and tennis coach in the school. If I may ask, again, going back to that big question of entrepreneurship, what was it that brought you out of teaching, and what are some of the lessons in education that you've continued to apply in entrepreneurship?
Well, Shalom, it's a great question. Yes, my background was mathematics. That's what I got my bachelor's degree in. and I went on to study for a master's degree in mathematics and some minor in computer and education. My first job out of college was as a high school mathematics teacher. I'd probably be teaching today if it wasn't for parents and administration. I don't get on well with a lot of authority and direction. I prefer to be a little bit self-involved, which maybe was a signpost that I was pointed in the direction of entrepreneurship, or at least having my own business where I could have more control over what I did and what happened. Success or not, I'm not going to say that everything I've done has been successful. Lesser financial successes I write off as learning experiences. But having been a math teacher, I put myself through college actually stringing tennis rackets for the university's athletic department, where I went to school in New Paltz, New York, and part of that state university system. And I enjoyed it so much, I was captain of the tennis team. And after I graduated college and took my first job, which was teaching high school mathematics, a friend of mine who I played tennis with, and he was out of work at the time, we decided to open up a little retail shop. And the business bug caught me. We were servicing the local community with athletic goods and tennis rackets and accessories and things like that. I just got the bug on retail, and interacting with the customers, I think, was the most satisfying to me.
It's been one thing after the next, I could tell.
Yeah, I grew that to 3 stores.
Yeah, I could tell it's been one thing after the next. And Paul, I want to make sure we spend some time getting into the nuts and bolts of the wall printer. Not to cut you off, but I mean, it's really taken off, and it's created a tremendous opportunity for interior designers, artists, architects, and entrepreneurs to print vertically. So we only have a few minutes. I want to learn a little bit more about why the wall printer. What's the strategic advantage to what you're doing versus any other printers that are out there?
Yeah, so I found this company about 4 years ago. I was actually approached by a competitor of ours today, a German product. No disrespect to anybody on your audience that has German heritage. I drive a BMW. I value a highly engineered product. I cook with Henkel knives. But just because something says made in Germany doesn't mean it should be worth twice the price of something else that may be of comparable or even better features and value. That was the case with the vertical printing machine that I discovered through this company, because they approached me to be a hired gun and help them grow their market in the United States, like everything else that I described I did earlier with other products and other companies. I couldn't make the deal with them because at this time in my life, I was retired, as I have been several times in the past, get drawn out by something exciting and interesting. And so I found that I'd never seen anything like this before, a vertical printing machine, kind of like your desktop printer, but it can take an image, a digital art image, and put it on a wall, any wall, indoors, outdoors, any surface, brick, wood, wallboard, glass, metal, whatever. And so I was fascinated by the machine. And I said, well, how come I've never seen anything like this? I found out there were only 4 other companies in the world that did it. The oldest company, the one that actually invented the technology, was a Chinese company. So I kicked the tires of all these companies, went to their factories and discovered that this one company in China was what I considered the best one, most feature-rich, and had the best opportunity to scale and help grow a market in North America. And so I developed a relationship and an agreement with them. I own all rights for this product, and I actually co-own a couple of patents with the Chinese manufacturer. Unusual for an American company to do that, but that's another story. And we have an agreement where I own the Western Hemisphere, everything in North and South and Central America and the Caribbean. And I service this with a business model that I deliver the machines and support and training. We actually manufacture our own inks. I have 2 factories now in the United States that manufacture inks, because you have to have the right inks for a printing machine to work day in and day out.
Sure.
And today we put over 90 new businesses in their own exclusive territories. We're not a franchise. We don't reach into our customers' pockets for the royalties for their revenue. We just provide the machines, the support, the training, and the parts that they need to be successful day in and day out, servicing their local communities of homes, restaurants, schools, hospitals, anybody with a wall that wants artwork put on the wall other than the traditional methods of just, pictures that are framed or decals or wallpaper or hand painting muralists. And in fact, most of those people who do those things find the wall printer is just a way to reliably print on walls for them. Well,
Paul, I've learned so much in our conversation about the about the topic of vertical printing over here, as well as entrepreneurship. But I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you to learn about the wall printer and the impact that you're having, because I know we're going to have you back on real soon. Paul, can you share your website?
Yeah, absolutely.
And contact information?
So you can find out about the wall printer at thewallprinter.com. And just look, in 15 seconds, you'll see a video. You'll learn everything you have to know about what the machine does. Thewallprinter.com. If you'd like to connect with me for just some give back or conversations, LinkedIn is the best way to do that. You can just search for me, Paul Barron, on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to connect with anybody and open a conversation.
Well, Paul, you've truly been a pleasure, and I love that term, give back. It's certainly what I know is your reputation and is perhaps more important to you than business. And I know in our next conversation, we're going to have to talk all about starting the wall printer during this era of COVID. Certainly, that's a whole topic in itself, and so much more to pick apart. Paul Barron from The Wall Printer, thewallprinter.com. We've got to squeeze in a very quick break here and get down to business, to show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. But don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.